North Korea is home to controversies, but did you know that the nation has already tried a plethora of megaprojects that failed miserably? From building what seemed to be a revolutionary hotel to a tourism-focused coastal area, here are some of the most failed, disastrous megaprojects that North Korea stepped into. And if you enjoy more megaprojects videos like these, consider subscribing. Now, let's get straight into it. Starting with the Rayang Hotel, a disaster that North Korea would forever remember. After the Cold War, the South Korean company Sasangyong Group completed a project called the Western Stanford Hotel in Singapore. The hotel was massively successful, with visitors coming from all over the world. At 226 meters, the Stanford Hotel was the tallest hotel in the world, but due to tension being high, North Korea decided to get into the game of who can build the tallest building, but it didn't know the disaster that was about to come. Then, the Rayang Hotel, a mega hotel that was planned to be a whopping 330-meter tall behemoth that would tower over any hotel in the world. Many cool plans were made, but little did the government know that it would all later come crashing down. The Rayang Hotel, also called the Rayang Hotel or the Yukwang Hotel, is a colossal unfinished pyramid-shaped skyscraper in Pyongyang, North Korea. The hotel was supposedly 105 stories tall, which also earned it the name the 105 Building. But unlike most other hotels, the Rayang holds a massive secret. You see, it wasn't fully a hotel. Well, technically, a part of it was a hotel, but for the most part, it was supposed to attract investors from all over the world. So what went wrong if the government itself promised that it would oversee everything under the sun, like smooth operations of businesses, secure housing for people who wanted to live in the hotel, and a very good site that would attract people from all over the world? From casinos, nightclubs, and Japanese lounges, everything was supposed to be worked perfectly, without breaking down or causing any trouble. The design of the Rayang Hotel was a pyramid-shaped building, whose construction immediately started after 1987, right after the building design was confirmed. And if you know North Korea, you know corruption and bad leaders ruined it. And at the point of this hotel's construction, Kim Il-sung was the first president, who also turned 80 in 1982, wanting the hotel to be completed on his birthday. The developers wanted to surprise the North Korean president by not only giving him a big hotel on his birthday, but also making the world's 7th largest building. Being under pressure, the developers already reached the height it was intended for back in 1992. However, the tower itself was far from being completed. No fixtures, no windows, and looked like it was a hotel straight from Harry Potter, just a lot less intimidating and funny looking. From the looks of it, it looks just like a concrete shell with no personality like most other buildings from that era had. Consider an example of European construction. It looked like that, but very bland and uninteresting. To make matters worse, at that point, the building had already cost a whopping $750 million, and it was still far from being completed. And if that was already bad, North Korea was falling into an economic crisis due to, well, the corrupt government. And the developers only hoped that the crisis would be short-lived. However, things took a turn for the worse in 1998, when North Korea experienced something called the March of Suffering, a deadly famine. Once the hotel was announced, the plans were amazing. It was supposed to attract large sums of investors and money from the West, and this hotel would be a beacon of hope for the people of North Korea, giving it the economic boost that it needed. The Rayang Hotel's failure wasn't due to a single factor, but rather a tangled web of issues. Here are some key reasons. The ambitious project had a hefty price tag, estimated at around $750 million US, consuming a significant chunk of North Korea's GDP. Funding dried up with the collapse of the Soviet Union, a major economic supporter, in 1992. This halted construction, leaving the hotel incomplete. The pyramid shape Though striking, posed significant structural difficulties. The vast concrete frame lacked the flexibility of steel structures and was vulnerable to wind and earthquakes. Additionally, using concrete instead of steel extended construction time significantly. With economic hardship biting, the government prioritized basic necessities like food and housing over a luxury hotel. The project lost its urgency and the resources were diverted elsewhere. Due to North Korea's political and economic isolation, attracting foreign investment or tourism to justify the hotel's completion became increasingly challenging. Some argue that the unfinished hotel itself carries symbolic value and can be seen as more of a failed relic from the past. The hotel itself has been one of the most interesting sights to see, and when it comes to the failure, we see that it was a couple of things. But mainly, the economy was the main reason why this hotel failed and had to see such a dark future. But after 16 years of the project being halted from the face of the earth, this time, an Egyptian company decided to start the construction again. It was Orascom who decided to resume its construction in 2008. And whether it was for mutual interest or not, the company planned to complete this failure of a project by 2012, which would be the 100th birthday of the first president, Kim Il-sung. Everything was going well, and the construction company said that in 2012, the project would be completed. And interestingly enough, by 2011, the exterior looked complete, with windows and everything making sense. While from the outside, the Rayang Hotel looked like a legendary sight to see, the inside told a whole nother story. You see, from the inside, the 105 floors looked like a haunted house. Once again, the project failed miserably. But now, to our next victim, which is the Wansan Kalma Beach Resort. Once envisioned as a glittering crown jewel of North Korea tourism, it now stands as a testament to unfulfilled dreams and the complexities of navigating a geopolitically fraught landscape. In 2014, amidst a flurry of fanfare, Kim Jong-un announced the Grand Plan, a gargantuan seaside resort stretching over 4,000 hectares. Picture palm-fringed beaches lapped by turquoise waters, luxury hotels towering against cobalt skies, and a vibrant tapestry of amusement parks, casinos, and water sports. This, he declared, would be North Korea's answer to Hawaii, a paradise beckoning tourists from across the globe and ushering in a golden age of tourism. Construction roared to life. Thousands of workers labored day and night, conjuring concrete behemoths from the sandy plains. Images of white-hot furnaces and swarms of silhouetted figures against the twilight sky became emblems of this monumental undertaking. By 2019, the skeletal structures of mammoth hotels, reminiscent of colossal sandcastles, began to poke through the haze. Tourists, their imaginations fueled by carefully curated propaganda videos, dreamt of sun-kissed vacations in this North Korean Riviera. But beneath the surface of ambition lurked a sea of challenges. Sanctions imposed by the international community choked off vital funding, and the collapse of a major investment deal dealt a crippling blow. The intricate dance of diplomacy, where tourism intertwined with political ambitions, stumbled on the uneven terrain of geopolitical tensions. Whispers of human rights concerns and opaque labor practices further eroded the resort's appeal to Western tourists. As the world battled the COVID-19 pandemic, so did the Kalma Beach Resort. Construction screeched to a halt. Hotels stood half-dressed in skeletal glass and concrete, and the promised paradise transformed into a desolate moonscape. The silence, once punctuated by the clang of construction, now echoed with the emptiness of unfulfilled promises. The reasons for the resort's demise are a tangled web. Sanctions undoubtedly played a significant role, strangling the project's financial arteries. Mismanagement and internal discord likely cast long shadows. But perhaps the most significant factor was the sheer scale of ambition colliding with the harsh realities of North Korea's political and economic constraints. Whether it will ever rise from the ashes, its skeletal structures adorned with shimmering glass and laughter-filled pools remains an unanswered question. While once the project was going to become North Korea's biggest resort for foreigners, now it is abandoned and nothing is left. All that's left is the memories of builders who have tried their best to build it, but ultimately failed due to a plethora of reasons. North Korea has always been controversial. From their president and government to their international placement, it's a pity to see that a potential infused nation like that wouldn't progress when it comes to some of these ambitious projects. What do you think about North Korea's future in the construction industry? Let us know in the comments. And as always, if you're interested in more videos like these, consider giving us a sub and ring that bell icon for future Megaprojects videos. Until next time, peace.